So recently my sister strongly encouraged me to rewatch the Disney Channel original movie series Zombies with her, which I did, and yeah, they're not very good. The Disney Channel brand of cringe is really, really fascinating to me. Nowhere else can you find this perfect storm of unintentional hilariousness. And then when you add musical numbers on top of that, you. So today, just to, get it out of my system, I want to talk about zombies for a second, because these movies are at the intersection of every bad decom trope, which makes for the perfect Disney Channel cringe case study. I am obsessed. It is an issue right now. If you couldn't tell from my cool shirt, which, yes, I did make myself, thanks for asking. But before I rip into zombies, I feel like it's also important to mention the decom that we all know and love, which is, of course, High School Musical. So both Zombies and HSM center around a boy and a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? They fall in love, but because they're from incompatible social classes, society doesn't want them to be together. In HSM, it's Troy the basketball star and Gabriella the freaky genius girl. Wait, he can't date. You can't. But he plays sport. Yeah, so it's not a perfect premise, but it definitely makes enough sense that, we can just go along with it. Now, in Zombies, the main characters are Addison, the totally normal girl with nothing abnormal about her, and Zed, the zombie. And I do think this one is much worse, actually, because it is very transparently a racism allegory, which, by the way, can work in a kids movie. That one furry fanfic Disney made is a really good example of translating the idea of racism into a medium that kids can grasp without losing sight of what that idea means in real life. But Zed's side story over here, and if you've watched these movies, you'll know exactly what I mean. The conflict of these movies is so f***ing frustrating. My sister and I were yelling at the TV, okay? It's so... So just to set the scene, there was a big accident that made a bunch of zombies, and now the town of Seabrook is split in half. On one side, there's normal human neighborhoods, and on the other side is the zombie ghetto. This might look rough, but it's home sweet home. Just a little bit of dust and a little bit of mold. Oh yeah, this is a musical. Did I mention that? We'll get to it. They have this thing called the Z-Band. The Z-Band. Which suppresses their zombie instincts.
Delivers a dose of soothing electromagnetic pulses that keep us from eating brains.
And yes, I did also make a Z-Band for my costume. Thanks for asking. But yeah, they're just people with pale skin and green hair. But all the humans are still scared of them and make them live in a separate place and don't let them go to the same school as them. And do you get it? Do you get it?
We'll never be accepted. Zombies need to rise up. Fight the good fight. Stand for what's right.
Except, what if the wristbands fall off? Stop working. At any moment, they could just eat you. And in fact, there's a scene in this movie that shows us how fragile those things are. Zed just gets, lightly bumped, and then he falls on his hand, and the wristband, it breaks. So that detail kind of makes the humans' fear pretty justified, I think.
We'll never be accepted. Zombies need to rise up. Fight the good fight. Stand for what's right.
But for some reason, that wasn't enough for the writers of Disney Channel original movie Zombies, because there's one more thing about the premise that I haven't told you. Addison wears a wig. Now you may be asking, what does that have to do with anything? Valid question. All of the humans in Seabrook are obsessed with perfection. So if you dress different, or talk different, or do your hair different, you will be tarred and feathered and burned at the stake. And Addison's actual hair is white. You can see the issue here.
No, I'm not different.
Your smile, is that an overbite?
Is one leg longer than the other?
Do you wear corrective lenses?
No.
How do you think the people of Seabrook would react if someone, got cancer? Oh, where did your hair go, dude? Oh, ugh. Get out of my sight. Oh, What the hell, Mom? So yeah, Addison has to hide her true hair color from all of her friends. And that is her entire conflict.
If anyone outside my family found out I wore a wig, I would never be allowed to cheer.
Zed is having problems because he's facing institutionalized discrimination everywhere he goes.
We are thrilled to be forced to have you here. Do not leave the basement.
And Addison is having problems because she gets teased sometimes. And Addison seriously acts like those two are the same.
I don't feel like I belong anywhere, where.
This bitch gets so dramatic and emotional about the color of her hair, and even yells at Zed about it at one point, like, actually, my life is just as hard as yours.
Because I always felt like an outsider. And even though I might be cheer captain, I still do. You know I don't have a place here. Don't have a zombie crew. I don't know what I am.
You are gonna make a great cheer captain.
I'm gonna be cheer captain! I don't have a place here.
And like, I can't decide what's worse. Addison thinking that having white hair basically makes her MLK,
I'm fighting against intolerance.
or the fact that Zed never calls her out for it. Shit, she's right. Actually, my bad. I think we should resegregate the schools again. And they do not let this plot point go. It continues for all 3 movies. In the second one, they introduce werewolves! Who, again, are just people. At no point in this movie do the werewolves do the thing that werewolves do. Like the fucking transforming. No, they're just teens. And again, I guess it would be super boring if the werewolves were just what werewolves look like when they're not wolves, just AKA people. Anyway, the werewolves tell Addison that her hair is white because Addison is a werewolf.
I believe you're the great alpha. I believe you're a werewolf.
It all makes sense now. So then she does the thing where she's like, all my life I've been so lost, but now I know who I truly am. Which means that now in her head, her acting like an idiot has been justified. And then she starts acting all standoffish to everyone. But guess what? She's not a werewolf, actually.
Am I?
She's not a werewolf.
So then, we have to watch a whole nother third movie of Addison's infuriating self-pity.
I've been feeling like a stranger in my own life.
What the fuck are you talking about? You have so many friends, you're like the most popular girl in school, you're captain of the cheer team, you have the least problems out of everyone in these movies. Anyway, they introduce aliens, I guess.
Take us to your leader. Your cheer leader.
And this time they actually, like, act different from everyone else and socially are not, adapted to human life, so that, I'll give it that. And spoiler, Addison's hair is white because she's actually part alien.
Addison is one of us.
Whoop-de-doo, closure and stuff. Now, going back to High School Musical, the idea that every single person in Troy and Gabriella's life wants them to break up is, kind of ridiculous. But I think the reason why HSM still works is it's based on the very real-life idea of social cliques in high school, just exaggerated for dramatic effect. Meanwhile, the hair thing is like, I'm gonna be real. I think even a child would be like, "What do you mean? What's wrong with the hair? It's not a big deal. Shut up." You gotta work a lot harder if you want me to relate to Addison here. It just doesn't make any sense because it has no actual grounding in anything. So the story is pretty dumb, and that's definitely not helped by the Disney Channel acting.
I'm Zed. And yeah, I'm a zombie.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up eating someone's brain. The full moon's right behind me, isn't it? But hey, it's not all bad. Surely there's some banger tracks in the Zombies playlist. I'd say the hit rate for the Zombies soundtrack is about 10%. I'll be the first to admit that there are some really good iconic ones like My Year, Someday, and Do It Like the Zombies Did. But when these songs miss, they miss. Mainly when they're trying to be A, super emotional, or B, super edgy. Because, you know, they're zombies, but they're also cool, young fellow kids.
Fresh new start for your boy Young Z. We make it work with a little bit of swag. Your ego made your head so big you can't see. You got no shot to beat me. Oh!
We have Hamilton Cabinet Battle at Home. The Hamilton Cabinet Battle at Home. So Addison has a song in the first movie called Stand. And the context, it's so dumb and it's not even gonna explain to you. Just listen to this and tell me what you think.
So I'll rise, won't turn back, I won't hide, I'm gonna stand.
It's giving less emotional outbreak at the turning point of a character and more fight song. It also doesn't help that the instrumental and structure of the song is just, you know, what you'd hear on the radio. Obviously it's somewhat of a stylistic choice. The Zombie soundtrack does take a lot of forays out of the traditional musical theater realm, but there is a line, and this is not it. Hey, I'm editing. So if you need any more proof that these songs sound like just, you know, generic pop, I was humming Someday to myself just now and then realized I accidentally transitioned into something just like this because they sound so similar. And not only that, but when I looked them both up, I realized they're in the same key. So obviously I put them over each other, and here's what that sounds like.
We're gonna be someday, someday, someday. We're gonna be someday.
And would you believe me if I told you that Stand is in the same key as Fight Song too? It is. And here's one more. They're not in the same key, but I also realized that My Year sounds a lot like Classic. So yeah, do it that way you will. Hello? Nothing has changed. I'm not re-recording. Honestly, you sound insane. So Zombies has a lot of songs that I just don't vibe with. But sometimes the problem with the song is that it's badly incorporated. Take Someday as an example. It's a duet between Zed and Addison where they're singing about how they hope that in the future, zombie and human dating will be normal.
Someday, this could be ordinary.
And I already mentioned that I like the song itself, but then they do like a sappy down-tempo reprise of Someday in the second movie.
Someday, this could be ordinary.
Except by the second movie, they are dating openly. They're at the homecoming dance together. So, song doesn't really make any sense anymore, does it?
We're gonna be someday.
And then they do it again in the third movie.
Someday.
This could be ordinary.
And this time it makes even less sense, because now all the other characters join in.
We're gonna be someday, someday, someday.
What does this song even mean anymore? What are you referring to now? What could be ordinary? What are you doing? So pivoting back to High School Musical again, I'm gonna go on record and say there's not a single bad song in this series. Well, there was the one. We don't need to talk about it. Let's just take a look at one of my favorite songs, Work This Out, from HSM2.
We got to work this out.
So in this song, all of Troy's friends are mad because their job sucks. So Troy's trying to convince them that they can still save the summer if they work this out. And while the song does undeniably slap, it's also being grounded and held together by this dialogue that's going on.
This ain't worth the stress. Maybe there's a better way to fix this grease
There's a very clear purpose and through line to this song that you could probably pick up on even if you've never seen the movie. There's also a fun part in the middle where Troy shouts, "Let's work this!" And then the whole kitchen goes into a stomp-style dance break. And the important thing to note here is that the instrumental break is not just because it's cool. We understand that this part also has a story purpose, which is that everyone's coming together to make the best of a bad situation. Now compare that to this.
I'm dancing in the shadows, ain't no leash when I walk. And it's only up to us. I'm the alpha, I'm the leader, I'm the one to trust. We own the night.
So this is We Own the Night from Disney Channel original movie Zombies 2. And, I mean, we can't not talk about the choreography. What the f*** is going on?
I'm the alpha, I'm the leader, I'm the one to trust.
But hilarious unnecessary gymnastics and choreo that looks like having a seizure aside, this whole song is just like, we're super f***ing cool and we're better than you and we're the alpha and the sigma and the beta and we already knew that, so this song is really just background music while the wolves walk from the woods to the school. The songs in a musical should never just be for spectacle. You need to sort of put yourself in a world where music is the way that people communicate and express stuff, and then you can read your songs as part of the story. So through that lens, what are they doing? Who are they performing for? Oh, and another funny detail about We Own the Night, as soon as they see another person approaching, they all hide. Do you own the night? Because it doesn't really seem like you do anything during the night, which you own. This place is ours, and if anyone else tries to come up in here, we're gonna mess them up, right guys? Yeah. Oh, shit. I guess it just goes along with the theme of refusing to do anything interesting with the mythical beasts that you're putting in your movies. It's really just an excuse to keep recycling the learning to accept people who are different from you message. Well, I've been talking for a while. I would love to talk for a lot longer and do a scene-by-scene breakdown of the entire trilogy, but I also enjoy having a life. If you take away anything from this video, go watch Zombies. It's so funny. I didn't mention half the stuff that makes these movies so good, bad, and when the fourth one comes out, which is about vampires, I guess, you can go watch that one too. Won't be for a while though, which is a shame. I've already listened to the awesome soundtrack like 1,000,000 times. What am I gonna listen to while I wait? Unless... so freaking cool, eh? Check it if you wanna roll with the crew, eh? Beat you up, take your lunch money at school, eh? Pop the whoopee cushion on April Fool's Day, eh? If you see me, better run for the hills while you still got the chance. I'm the one gives you chills when I strike that awkward stance. Ain't nobody brave enough to come at me in the street. Just in case, though, I made sure that nobody could see me. I am a monster, as dangerous as can be. Got ancient magic powers and stuff, but most importantly, I'm so freaking cool. Cooler than you. I'm so freaking cool. What you gonna do? I'm so freaking Okay, pause. Check my teeth, check my claws. Just don't ask for me to use them, cause I gotta spit these bars. Look to the left, now to the right. All of this place is my kingdom tonight. You better watch out, cause I'm pretty mean. And also I'm dangerous and scary and mean and dangerous. I am a monster, a vicious, hungry beast. My power is immeasurable, and soon the world will see. I'm so freaking cool. Cooler than you. I'm so freaking cool. What you gonna do? I'm so freaking cool. So much cooler than you. I'm so freaking cool.
Backflip.
What you gonna do? I'm so freaking cool.
Well, if you enjoyed that, be sure to like and sub and do everything that makes YouTube show this to more people. And if you don't, of course, I will unfortunately have to breakdance aggressively until you cry. All right, see ya.